For this post on artificial intelligence, I want to take a look at an actual artificial intelligence product that's getting a lot of press right now. This is Github's Copilot that writes code for you for a programmer. Now, I know this is technical, and not everybody that reads the blog is a programmer, but I think I can demonstrate a simple application and show you something that generalizes to all kinds of AI applications. So I'm going to create probably the simplest thing I can do, just a console application, and I'm going to do it in C#, and we'll call it Copilot. And take the defaults, and we get a nice simple hello world application. So what I want to do is I want to write some code that will give me the bigger of two integers, two numbers. So int Alright, when I get to that point, everything else that popped up in gray is supplied by Copilot. I have IntelliSense, which is a part of Visual Studio that supplies code to finish out other code. I have that turned off because it kind of gets in the way of Copilot. So everything you see in gray from the cursor to the end is supplied by Copilot. We're getting a red underline here because there's no body yet, because what's in gray really doesn't exist yet. If I hit tab, it locks all of that in, and now it's green because it's not being used. But suppose I do this. Alright, so now what should happen is the larger of A or B, or 20 in this case, should show up right there when we run the program. And it's going to run it in a window that looks kind of like a DOS window, but you'll see right at the top we get 20. If we change this number to 30 and we run it again, of course we get 30. So it worked. Now, I had a programming professor in college that said just because it works doesn't mean it's right. So let's suppose we say, well, my numbers are not even numbers, they're decimal numbers. So I'm going to put 0.5 in there. And all of a sudden I've got an error because this is an integer and this is not. So I'm going to take the position that this is one of those cases in which my professor was right, that even though it worked, it's not the right answer. And the right answer is mathmax. Now you'll notice when I put mathmax in, the error underline goes away because mathmax takes care of integer, double, all kinds of different, 12 different possibilities. You can see from the 12 overloads on this screen. So now if I run it, I get 30.5, and if I change this, let's go back to an integer. I don't have to do anything because mathmax knows how to handle those items. So Copilot, recognizing that I wanted to write a function that gave me the bigger of two integers, supplied that function, supplied it correctly. But if this were in a programming class and someone turned this in as an exercise, I'd say they probably get a D or an F on it, because even though their function works, it's not the right answer. The right answer is to use the function built in to the programming language. This is the same thing in any AI. When you ask AI a question, you're going to get an answer, and it may be even a correct answer. But the problem is you need to know enough about the answer to really be able to evaluate it and to decide whether that's an appropriate answer to the problem you're trying to solve.